Assalamualaikum. This is a very urgent message that I hope reaches PMX Anwar Ibrahim, because I wish Anwar Ibrahim to speak to the AG immediately because something needs to be done immediately. This is pertaining to Zahid's corruption charges. He was ordered to enter into defence on 47 counts on embezzling hiasan akal budi. This was when Zahid and UMNO was not a friendly party to Pakatan Harapan. This was during the previous administration and the case dah patut berjalan dah. Okay. Now along the way, Zahid had new evidence, adduced bagi pada AG, minta AG consider dropping it. Now of course orang speculate macam-macam. Everybody speculate macam-macam, particularly the opposition and the pro-opposition accuse macam-macam. Okay. The fact that he becomes TPM is already so controversial. And orang tanya, what next? Okay. So now when this happens, today prosecution has requested for discharge not amounting to acquittal. Defense naturally minta acquittal lah. Okay. Justice Colin Sekera has already made a decision. This is paling fresh from the oven. There is a discharge not amounting to acquittal. For orang yang tak faham, this is what it means. It means that sekarang ni discharge, okay, dia tak kena charge sekarang ni, tetapi is not acquittal, tak buang terus kes ni. So when is not acquitted, the prosecution can selepas ni charge him again. Dia boleh charge him again, masuk ke angle lain, even amend a new charge on the same kesalahan. This is what it means, discharge not amounting to acquittal. Now, selalunya when prosecution request for this is when the prosecution tengok, they evaluate the case, dia tengok lemah, is weak, and kalau masuk dalam court, argue based on the evidence that the defense have, very likely prosecution akan tewas, will fail, and the accused will be acquitted. Okay, and therefore when the prosecution believes that the accused is guilty, then the prosecution will decide to mitigate the situation, minta discharge dulu, cancel this attack line. Okay, jangan attack cara macam ni. Now strategize a new attack, frame a new charge yang boleh hold water, yang kuat sikit, supaya tak jadi macam Ultra Kirana punya case, terus acquitted. Bukan acquitted, tak ada prima facie case pun. Sekarang ni that's under appeal. So jadi with this case, as far as the prosecution is concerned, it is presumed that they don't feel this thing kalau masuk, kalah pun, appeal pun tak guna juga. Appeal until federal court level pun akan kalah juga, based on the narrative and the trajectory of this case. This is what I am presuming, because this is kebiasaan of prosecution. Jadi, tapi yang pentingnya, what it is, the optics is not good. Optics dapat tak elok, because bila kena form kerajaan, UMNO sokong Anwar Ibrahim, UMNO sokong Pakatan Harapan to form government sama-sama, and then Zahid appointed as TPM, and therefore orang dah kata berawal, sure kau team dah. Because now orang dikata PMX and the government meddle with the judiciary, with the prosecution and judiciary. And then sekarang ni pula baru pula tukar pula Idrus Harun dah ni, ganti pula di Stedarudin ni, masuk new AG pula. So macam-macam punya development, and this development becomes music to the opposition. Opposition nak portray yang this government memang akan meddle, akan lepaskan the kleptocrat. And that was the song they sang in last elections. And look at the green wave. Maknanya you vote for Madani government is one vote to release Najib, Zahid, Rosmah semua. This is what the song is. So betul tak betul is left to be seen. Nobody knows. Tapi I believe PMX memang dia takkan interfere in the court case. Okay, jadi this voice note kalau sampai kat PMX pun, I tak tahu apa dia akan buat. Tetapi this is my advice, because I want the Madani government to remain. I want Anwar Ibrahim to continue his good work and reform the country. and put the country into a good trajectory. I don't want Perikatan Nasional to take over because I know what they're about. Tetapi the optics is not good, and because of this, the AG office must make a public statement on this. Kena. This is what I suggest, kalau provided there is no hanky-panky, the AG could say that, we have evaluated the case based on whatever developing evidence. We don't think that this case is strong, and very likely the prosecution will be defeated and the accused will be acquitted based on the current mode of attack. And if this were to go to appeal and federal, is the same case still. So therefore, it is weak. And because of this, the prosecution wants to strategize a new approach on how to frame the charge so that they secure a conviction. Why does the prosecution want to do that? Because the prosecution believes that Zahid is guilty of the 47 charges. We firmly believe is guilty, but we want another angle. Alhamdulillah, the judge has given the decision to discharge not amounting to acquittal. What it means is that we can now frame a new charge on him based on that same 47 kesalahan. We can submit a new set of prosecution, witness, testimony, semua macam reset. Jadi and then to check whether there will be a prima facie case or not. Jadi this is very important to dispel whatever fitnah on this government, because otherwise orang semua kata kau tim dah. Do not underestimate this message. Do not underestimate this warning, because if it is not done, the politics and the fitnah will play up. It will be the final nail on the Madani government's coffin. All the elections after this, even the GE16 ataupun whatever elections, semua akan kalah, because this is the straw that breaks the horse's back. Kalau the kleptocrats start walking away and there is no proper explanation that will appease and satisfy the rakyat, at least come up with a statement yang semua orang kebanyakan boleh understand. Do that, and do that now, not later. Do it now. Tak buat, do not say you were not warned. Pursuant to my earlier voice note, many says that while they acknowledge what is the discharge not amounting to acquittal means, in that the AG has a right to file fresh charges against Zahid for the same offences. But some lawyers ask me, do you know how rare it is where prosecution files fresh charges following a discharge not amounting to acquittal? I kata agreed. They do not, but they have time. This government have more than 4 years more to rule, and therefore takkanlah prosecution tak boleh buat kerja, because at the end of the day, if the prosecution thinks Zahid is innocent, then why apply for discharge not amounting to acquittal? That would be not truthful and not honest. If Zahid is innocent, they should ask to drop charges and ask for acquittal. Terus drop. Tak mau pursue dah, because kalau dah proven dia innocent. Tapi when you say discharge not amounting to acquittal, by definition, it means that the prosecution feels that there is a case, the prosecution feels that Zahid is guilty, prosecution merely thinks that the step they took and the trajectory they went on for their narrative for the prosecution is weak compared to what the defense now have. So because of that, they want to reset, they ask for discharge not amounting to acquittal, so that they can now come in from another angle with new additional evidences, additional testimonies, and maybe even change the narrative or a different kind of charge to nail Zahid for the perceived corruption that they believe Zahid is guilty of. Therefore, we don't expect the prosecution to rest on their laurels now lah. Betul? Because now it is high profile case and more than half the nation will think that this is Kautim situation. This is political interference. What about good governance? The optics is just not good. Tapi my advice to all Malaysians, sama ada penyokong opposition atau penyokong government, fret not. Okay, we know that this is non-negotiable kalau kleptocrats escape, not because they are innocent or weak case, tapi political interference. That will be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Tapi kita bagilah kerajaan ni masa. Bukan kita boleh tukar kerajaan sekarang pun. So GE16 will be coming 4 years lebih sikit. 4.5 tahun takkanlah prosecution tak boleh jumpa new evidence kalau dia rasa Zahid bersalah. Kalau dia rasa tak bersalah, then dia request to acquit and they owe the rakyat a huge explanation if they do that. Tapi 4 tahun lebih, they should have more than enough time to find new evidence and file fresh charges. Okay, so now I don't know about lain-lain rakyat Malaysia. I tak tahu macam mana penyokong PN, penyokong muda, penyokong Madani government, penyokong DAP, penyokong PAS, penyokong Bersatu, semualah. All the penyokong ataupun orang yang tak interested in politics, I don't know how you view this and what you want to do. Tapi for me, kalau this government interfere and melepaskan kleptocrats walk free when they have committed wrong, but you do so untuk your political survival, that is not acceptable. That will be the straw that breaks the camel's back. That is the red line crossed. And I will desire an immediate change of government because I did not vote for a government that does not uphold the rule of law. Tapi I tak mau tuduh apa, I don't know. Because at the end of the day, AG ada dia punya own strategy. Tapi like I said lah, kalau it's about tak cukup evidence, seperti yang Akram Garib tu kata, not enough evidence, then find the evidence and you ought to file charges before the next GE. To me, that's the deadline. Because kalau GE16 you start file fresh charges, then kita Malaysians semua, tak kisah kita penyokong mana pun, we must ensure a change of government. Because when there is a change of government, that is the only way we can test the case. Maknanya the government, the new government can choose a new AG, can have new set of people, they have new political masters, and therefore PN government definitely will want to go after their nemesis Zahid Hamidi. So kalau ada case, it's got to go to the courts, and I believe on the independence of the court. So it will go to court, and I can trust the replacement government will ensure that fresh charges is charged against Zahid. Memang boleh pun, because is discharge not amounting to acquittal. Zahid is not acquitted. So therefore, if this government doesn't do it by GE16, then I want the next government to replace Madani to do it. Then let it go to the court process, let the system of justice, the wheels of justice work, and let's see the outcome there. Kalau masa tu juga pun Zahid acquitted, then that means he is innocent, leave him be. Okay. Tetapi as far as this government is concerned, tak fair juga kalau Madani government difitnah. Jadi you got to stick to your narrative. You kata discharge not amounting to acquittal. That's what the prosecution says. Stay true to that narrative. Therefore, if you find him guilty, go and find the evidence. Correct lagi. Because if you think evidence tak ada, then you got to propose an acquittal. Janganlah bagi Zahid tergantung. And then you owe a big explanation to the public. You kena cerita the facts of the case. Kalau dah acquit, apa masalah dia you cerita the facts of the case? You owe an explanation to the rakyat. Because rakyat voted for a government that was going to go after corruption. Tapi because of the Hang's parliament situation, PH had to work with the kleptocratic party. Tapi kalau if it means that working kena ada tit for tat, ada Kautim punya arrangement, that's a no-go, and we will require a new government to take over to file that fresh charges. To me, nothing is negotiable if it means the kleptocrats yang dah sakau duit kita walk free. That is a no-no. And I hope my message yang pada PMX tu sampai, and an explanation is owed to the public on what the prosecution plans to do next. I cannot understand why Malaysians are fretting at the discharge not amounting to acquittal as like it's the end of the world. No. Discharge not amounting to acquittal is exactly what it is. The AG can file fresh charges. Okay. But of course the question is, will the AG selalu tak buat? Tapi tak apalah. This can now be the election manifesto of the next government. The next government can say, when we become government, Zahid will be charged again because it's DNAA kan? So therefore, we will install a new AG, and kalau you, the opposition, assert yang Zahid is guilty, therefore there should be evidence. Therefore, it should not be a problem for a new AG under the rule of the new government to charge Zahid. Tapi kalau you hire new AG pun, you tak boleh dapat evidence to charge Zahid, then shut up lah. Maknanya, you tak boleh prove Zahid salah pun. So, you nak blame government ni untuk apa? So, very simply, let this government serve lah until dia punya full term. G16, kalau tak ada fresh charges, they can't do it. Let the new party yang bagi manifesto to say that they will charge Zahid. They will charge all those yang already discharged, not amounting to acquittal, but until now tak ada fresh charges by the AG. Kata they will get competent set of prosecution team and they will deliver. They will charge afresh and secure convictions to prove the guilt of all those charged. Then, by doing that, then you showcase lah the incompetence and the corruption of the Madani government. So, very easy. Jadi, kita tak payah nak worry because the minute is DNAA is not acquitted yet, the door is still open. Zahid is not, he walks free for now, but he's not off the hook. So, tunggulah. This government don't file fresh charges by G16, we vote another government to file fresh charges. Done. Nothing we can do now pun. Whining for what? Tak guna. We just continue to watch and see what the prosecution does, see what the government does. That's it. We can call the bluff of this Madani government kalau they're bluffing by G16. Enough said.